Today, we're diving deep into the ambitious Champions Ascension metaverse. Plus, we'll be raffling away 100 free champion NFTs to those who keep watching because this video is sponsored by Jam City, an award-winning game developer with dozens of games made in partnership with big brands like Harry Potter and Disney. In total, Jam City games have been downloaded over 1 billion times worldwide. Champions Ascension is their first attempt at creating an on-chain metaverse. Entering the city of Messina inside Champions Ascension, players will be transported into another world full of different experiences. It will be a place where they can play high-stakes gladiatorial games, or climb the steps of a daunting imperial palace, or trade back-alley tips with rogues and swindlers. Players will make allegiances and seek to change the political climate, as well as own real estate and upgrade their houses, all on chain, or just chill with friends in a tavern. Everything about Champions Ascension is built to move us towards a metaverse where any number of different activities and entertainments can be had. Your champions are what give you access to these experiences. They want to create a game with true play and earn opportunities. From the ground up, Champions Ascension has designed their world, gameplay, and economy to enable players to drive the majority of value they create to other players and back into the community and into the world. This allows players to be rewarded for creating value for other players. Jam City wants to make crypto gaming player first. They say, quote, "We have a proven track record of building fun, long-lasting, and engaging experiences that millions of players around the world enjoy. We know that our games get that global and everlasting success when they deliver a highly engaging core player experience, and Champions Ascension will be no exception." I do want to note that Champions Ascension is more like Mirandus in that the entire economy is on-chain rather than like Big Time, which only has cosmetics on-chain to avoid the ability of players to pay for power. In a fully open digital economy, however, someone else's pay to win is what enables another player's play and earn. If you level up your champion and forge incredible gear that another player wants, they may just pay you for it. We'll go deeper into gameplay in a minute, but first let's talk about champions, your ticket into this budding new world. Champions are your bread and butter in the world of Messina. Each champion is unique and offers different advantages and options in gameplay. The core game loop includes honing their fighting prowess in the arena as you earn glory on the sand and blood. You can also use your champion to explore, go on quests, craft gear, and breed your champions to create new gladiators. Aim to ascend them to high tiers for access to more features and even greater power. Each champion will have different advantages, disadvantages against other champions based on which family and class it belongs to, as well as the essence of their parts. A specific essence out of the 7 flows through each functional part, and when the essence of the part matches that of the champion core, that part's stats will get a boost. The number of parts that match the champion's core essence is reflected in the overall purity of a specific champion. Champions of a lower tier can be ascended to the next higher tier after meeting certain prerequisites, such as reaching a certain level at their current tier and completing an ascension challenge. To ascend your champion, you will need to expend tokens and in-game resources that you can earn through gameplay and fighting other champions. You can take your champion along the following path, from Challenger to Gladiator to Eternal. I want to note that champions cannot become Prime Eternals, they can only become up to Eternals. This tier is only available to the 7,622 Prime Eternals that were already released and will never be released again. Ascending your champion to a higher tier improves their stats, allows them to have more progeny, gives them access to exclusive battle modes and areas in the world, and unlocks more abilities. Furthermore, each tier of a champion will have a different daily earning limit of essence tokens and a different lifetime earnings cap for those tokens. Ultimately, reaching the final eternal tier grants immortality to your champion. Along the path of ascension, champions and utility tokens will be consumed, burned on the blockchain, to help strengthen the player-to-player economy and balance the supply of champions and utility tokens inside the world of Champions Ascension. Now let's talk about death. Should your champion fall in combat, it will enter a soul state that lasts a limited amount of time. Eternals that entered a soul state will be resurrected and made whole in their house temple. Other champions can be revived by the Necromancer for a fee. If you decide against reviving or the soul state ends, you can take the bloody remnants to the Ministry of Bone and harvest your dead champions for raw materials like bone and essence tokens, which can then be used to start again or forge new gear. So now that you guys understand champions pretty fully, I'm excited to say that Champions Ascension's Elemental Champions launch is happening soon. So Prime Eternals and their parts were all aligned with life, death, and the arcane essences. So in order to expand the population with champions and parts of all essences, Jam City is soon releasing elementals. Now, elemental champions are going to be aligned with fire, water, earth, and wind essences. These elemental Eternals will have new parts, and through breeding, players will be able to create unique champions that may have a combination of any of the existing essences and parts. If you want to participate in the Elemental Champion sale happening the week of the 23rd of January, click the first link in the video description. Through our partnership with Jam City, we are going to be raffling away 100 free mints, completely free champion mints of Elemental Champions to people who have signed up through our link in the description. And then also make sure you're joining Champions Ascension Discord, because that is one of the best places to stay updated on the Champions Ascension game. Now let's go more in depth on champion breeding, which is another really exciting part of Champions Ascension and reminds me a little bit of Axie Infinity, except that they've done a lot of stuff to ensure some of those issues with Axie Infinity, like infinite earning on each Axie. Well, that just doesn't exist in Champions Ascension. It's way more balanced and way more sustainable. Each breeder champion has a breed count limit of 3, which determines the total number of possible direct progeny a champion can have. As champions ascend to new tiers, the breed count will reset, so newly ascended champions can breed again and new progeny from the ascended champion can be created, even if the breed count in the previous tier was fully reached. So additionally, Prime Eternals will have special events where the breed count will be reset, so the Prime Eternal can go through new breeding cycles with new breeding limits. And remember, the Prime Eternals were from that first sale and are a very limited bunch. Each champion has a genome consisting of dominant and recessive genes for each part, similar to Axie and similar to real life. Its essence and parts is derived from the genome of the breeder champions, where dormant and recessive genes determine the probability of the expression and inheritance of a certain gene in the champion's progeny. All right, that's a pretty quick explanation of that, but hopefully it makes sense. Now let's talk about the gameplay. The first part of the gameplay is battling. So experience visceral combat. Trust me, I experienced it. It was pretty rough on diverse battlefields and dungeons in various game modes. Use your champions to explore and defeat monsters, bosses, and other champions for fame, glory, and wealth. We plan to introduce and support different battle modes in the game. Some will be AI controlled auto battle type games, while others will require players to command their own champion on the battlefield to move, attack, and use abilities. And from what they've already set up, this is going to be pretty in-depth and pretty cool. Another thing you're going to be able to do in Champions Ascension is forge gear. Your champions won't always fight with their default weapons. There are many different types of resources that can be won through player versus player and player versus environment battles, as well as other sources like mining and quest rewards. Some of those are the raw material for gear forging. Other than the materials, gear forging requires gear blueprints, which are also limited in the world. Champions of certain tiers can be assigned tasks to forge gears for their owners. Forged gear are limited print NFTs that players create, which can be equipped by the player's own champions or be sold to other players. So you can craft this gear and then you can use it or sell it. Makes sense. To craft gear, players will need to get access to a gear forge, blueprints, and spend tokens to craft gear from those blueprints. Only those with great vision can see the true value of land. Players will be able to build dwellings, shops, forges, and mines, and many other types of facilities on their land plats that they own, and they will be able to serve the larger's community needs with their land plots and the buildings on them. To construct these buildings, there will be limited building blueprint NFTs that are able to be purchased by players with Messina tokens or through the anticipated public sales. Construction of the buildings take time and cost resources, and once built, the building owners can open it to the public or keep the building private. In the last part of this video, we're going to go over Champions Ascension's currently 3 coins, and they said they're going to be adding more in the future. So the current coins are Essence Token, Messina Token, and Diamond Token. So in order to establish a stronger player-to-player economy, Jam City will never sell these tokens directly. These utility tokens will be minted when players claim their earnings, and they will be burned when players use them. The utility tokens in Champions Ascension are tokens that have no defined supply cap. These are tokens that players can earn by completing certain objectives in the game and then can trade with each other or use to complete in-game activities. Trading these tokens will be done on Jam City's proprietary exchange. You will be able to trade these tokens for Ethereum once the exchange is available. Essence is the main token in Champions Ascension and can be won by winning battles and completing challenges. It can be used in many different ways, including breeding new champions and crafting new gear. So Essence Token is that main token that Champions Ascension is going to be built around. But Messina is another very important token. Messina is earned gradually when staking a Prime Eternal. It is accumulated daily for as long as the player has their Prime Eternal staked. Now remember, Prime Eternals are pretty limited, so this is only going to affect a couple thousand people. The world you're building will allow you to use Messina to claim specific land plots that are only available for Messina, and also to construct different types of buildings, where players can craft items or get access to some services for in-game use. Like Messina, Diamond Token, the third token, is also going to be earned gradually when staking Prime Eternals, and it's going to be accumulated daily for as long as the player has their Prime Eternal staked. It can be used to acquire diamond gear items, such as the Diamond Gauntlet, which can only be obtained with Diamond Coin. Only Prime Eternals can create Diamond through staking. Jam City is planning on more tokens than are currently listed in the white paper, and this metaverse is being built with many ways to interact with the Messina experience. As Jam City releases more modules, they will give us more experiences in the metaverse, and they will add additional tokens to interplay with their economy. At the same time, the Essence Token will always be the core token used and burned across many different actions in the game, from fighting to breeding to building and more. So there you have it. And now you know everything that we know so far about Champions Ascension, and you understand why I'm excited for this new metaverse from Jam City. Obviously, how fun it's gonna be is gonna be the final determining factor on its success. Remember that the Elemental Champion sale is about to go live, guys, on the 23rd. So join Champions Ascension Discord to stay up to date on the mint, and make sure you're clicking our first link in the description for a chance to win one of 100 free elemental mints, which we're giving away in partnership with Jam City. Thumbs up and subscribe to On-Chain Gaming if you appreciate our research and found this video informative. Also, a significant portion of our Patreon supporters already received tier 1 mints, which are gonna allow them to mint 2 free champions. So if you guys also haven't checked out our Patreon, we are literally giving more value to the Patreon than we collect from the Patreon. So we're trying to continually increase the amount of value that we're giving to our supporters there. We have an exclusive Patreon Discord and stuff where we chat, hang out. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. For a bird's eye view of 9 other incredible crypto games coming in 2023, check out my countdown of the top 10 crypto games of 2023 next. This is the perfect video to see Champions Ascension stacked up against other top crypto games in development today. And until next time, everyone, have fun roaming the metaverse.